Okay, so the fourth time is the charm. I hope. I am making these charmed paper clips. I had an idea this morning on how to make them so that the little dangles, the little charms don't come off the paper clip when you're using them. So we're going to make one of these little charmed paper clips. I needed some for my junk journal I'm working on right now. It has a little holder to hold your jump ring on it. So the charmed paper clip will stay on. The charms will stay on. They stay on the dangle. This is the fourth time I've tried to make this video. We'll hope it works this time. Some of the things you need are wire. This happens to be 22 gauge artistic wire. It's just a silver plated wire. It happened to be in my stash. You need head pins, and a head pin is one that has either a little flat end or a round ball on the end of it, and you want a nice good sized one. You do not want a tiny little one. It makes it hard to work. These are about 2.5 inches. We of course need a paper clip. We need some beads. I have a couple little metal beads, and I have a lamp work bead. I happen to make glass beads, so this is one of my lumpy bumpy spacers. We need a couple of little daisy spacers, and we need some jump rings. This is a soldered jump ring. The soldered jump ring means that it has no opening in it. This one is an a jump ring that opens. I just got it out. I couldn't find a round one. And you notice it has a slit in it that you open when you're making jewelry and attaching things. And if you had that, then your charms would slip off of it. So we need one that's soldered. The gauge on this one just happens to be what I had, so it does not have to be that thick. You need wire cutters. You want a pair of wire cutters that close all the way to the tip so that you can clip right up to the tip. You want jewelry pliers. These are round nose jewelry pliers. You notice they have a cone shape, and they're rounded so that no flat surface, so that you can grab wire and turn it into loops. You want, this is not a necessity, but I use a pair of crimp pliers when I'm working with head pins and wire. It has a little round circle in the end of it that I can help to flatten the little wire ends down with. So let's get started here to make our charmed paper clip. You need about 5 or 6 inches of wire. Do not short yourself on wire. It is not worth fighting with it. You want a nice, good sized piece of wire. And you're going to take your paper clip, and what we're creating is the little piece that holds the jump ring. So I opened the paper clip up just a little bit on that outside piece, and I'm just going to hold this, and I'm going to wrap my wire around it about 5 times. And I'm just going to slide it down here so that I have more room. Now you could wrap it further around, but it's easier to wrap it where it's close to the end of the piece of wire you're wrapping around it. Then we're going to take our pliers, and we're going to create a loop. You see the loop in our wire now? And I'm going to slip on my soldered jump ring. So what we're doing is creating a place for our soldered jump ring to stay on our paper clip. And then I'm going to put in 5 more loops. 1, 2. And I have extra wire on both ends. It's not a biggie right now, but what we're going to do is we're going to move all of this little spring coil around to the small end of the paper clip. So we're just going to slide it around there. And this can get a little stiff, but just push it on around. once you get past the curve, it will be easier to do in the straight part. So just keep going on around until you get all of this to the small end of your paper clip. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to close up the spring. And to do that, you can usually just push it with your fingers, but if it doesn't work with your fingers, just grab hold of your pliers and squeeze up your spring. What I usually do is put one tip of my pliers in my loop that's holding my jump ring and squish with the other loop. There we go. There. Now, we got to get rid of the excess wire, so we're going to clip this off. Whenever you clip wire, you need to hold on to the end of it. Do not clip it until you've held the end of it because it will fly. And this is where I use my crimp pliers. I grab hold of my crimp pliers and I just push that little tip of wire right where we cut it off down a little bit. It just pinches it down and creates a smoother end. There. Now we're ready to add our little charms. Oh, we might want to bend our paper clip back just a little bit. There. And now we can add our charms to our jump ring. So we're going to take a head pin, and I use a daisy spacer. Oh, and I needed a couple of these. These are little size 11 seed beads, and lampwork beads tend to have a larger hole, and to stabilize the lampwork bead on a head pin, I use little size 11 seed beads that don't want to get on the head pin today. Just because you're watching. Okay, I'm going to do this off camera. Okay, you need like 3 little seed beads. It will just keep your lampwork bead from wiggling on your head pin. It's not a necessity. I'll put my last daisy spacers on. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the round nose pliers and I am going to bend the head pin at a 45-degree angle. See that? And then I am going to go, oops, got hold of it wrong. There we go. I'm going to bring it back towards myself and create a loop. You see this little loop? And I'm going to slip my jump ring right onto the loop. Grab hold of it with my pliers. I'm grabbing hold of the loop, and I'm going to take my head pin, the end of my head pin, and just wrap it around itself, creating a little coil back towards the bead. This is why you don't want a short head pin. Remember to hold your wire. Things do jump around. And we have a little wrapped charm or dangle. Okay. Now we want to put a couple more beads on our paper clip. So we're going to pick up a little metal bead. And we're going to do that 45-degree bend. Wrap the head pin around it, making a loop. Put the jump ring on the loop. Don't forget to put the jump ring on the loop before you make the next step. That has happened. Grab hold of it and wrap around to finish. And like I said, I just use the crimp pliers to just finish up that little piece of wire. It makes it just a little bit neater. We want one more little dangle on this one. Now you don't want to make your paper clips too overloaded because they have to be able to hold onto your page. So think about that when you're putting the number of charms on your paper clip. You want to think about how much weight your page is going to support. Okay, and we have finished our little charmed paper clip. Now then, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos, please subscribe to my channel. I'm Tanya McGuire. I will put a link to my Facebook page if you happen to be interested in some lampwork beads. You can find me there. And thank you very much.